Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Hi everyone, happy Thursday. Welcome to Primetime local news. A very interesting question of the day today. I'm sure if you are on social media, you saw this story circulating. A Texas mom named her daughter ABCDE.
Yep.
That's how you spell it. It's pronounced Ab City. And she was recently shamed online from not a flight attendant, but a woman working for an airline. So kind of posed the question, should there be guidelines to naming your child? It's a bit of a controversial question, definitely.
Yeah.
But it's
an interesting name. I don't know. Guidelines per se, maybe not. Like, it is your kid, you're entitled to name it basically whatever you want.
Yeah.
But it's at what point? I think it's more so people are just thinking, at what point is this like getting out of hand?
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And we'll dive into that and read some of your comments a little bit later. But first, we're going to toss it over to our Brett Holden, who's taking in the Festival of Trees.
I am here at the Festival of Trees at the Lloydminster Golf and Curling Center tonight. The doors will open at 6 o'clock, where there are tons of items here where you can auction, where you can make a bid. All goes to charity, as well as also some food here as well, and some beautiful, beautiful trees done by some local artists. But first, let's head back into the studio and see what's going on with them.
Great, thank you, Brett. Well, there are reports of a couple of break-ins in Dewberry last night. These photos are supplied to Primetime Local News by a viewer, and it appears the Service Credit Union Bank and the Co-op Marketplace were broken into. The RCMP have yet to comment. And late into last night, the United Conservative Party counted votes to determine their candidate for the new constituency of Vermilion, Lloydminster, and Wainwright. Out of the 6 nomination contestants, Garth Roswell was chosen to represent the party come election. The former financial advisor describes himself as a fiscal conservative who wants to reduce government spending where possible and promote businesses' opportunity by reducing regulations.
The group of contestants was, I felt, very, very well qualified, all of them, and so to come out on top of that group is pretty much an honor as far as I'm concerned.
Roswell sees the newly drawn riding and plans to go around to the communities within the riding to meet other constituents to hear their concerns. He faces an empty seat come election time, as Dr. Richard Starkey has chosen to not seek re-election. And the Kisman Christmas trees are back at Aztec for the holiday season. The real Christmas trees are being sold in the parking lot, and most of the trees come from North Battleford.
Most of our trees come from McKay Tree Farms just outside North Battleford. So, great to be able to support a relatively local provider and get some great quality trees that, they're fresh cut when they come to us.
And on Saturday, the group will be having an event for the whole family.
We're going to have a family day on Saturday from noon to 3. We're going to have some hot chocolate here. We're going to invite the families to come on out, and maybe even a guy in a big red suit might pop by for some pictures with the kids.
Reed says that the money from the fundraiser will stay within the community, but did not specify where it will go. And the gift of music runs deep in a family here in the border city, and it's getting acknowledged. Valerie Rollheiser, a grade 5 student at St. Mary's Elementary School, received the highest mark in the province of Saskatchewan for her grade 4 piano exam, a couple years after her brother Jonathan won the same one. They were both taught by their mom.
What happened was my mom had picked up the mail before dance, and I was just like, Mom, look, a mail from Conservatory Canada, because that's the program that I got it with, and I was like really happy, and then I went out to the car and opened it.
Music is also something very important to the librarian at St. Mary's, who started an impromptu music program to make sure music is at the forefront of learning.
I used to teach a music program called Music for Young Children. And then when I got the librarian position here, and they moved the piano into the library for me to accompany classes who are practicing, I thought, well, I could use a little bit of that training and add to the kids' library experience.
Terry says the response from the kids have been great, and she loves to add music into the kids' day. And now we're going to send it back to Brett Holden, who is live at Festival of the Trees.
I am joined now by Shauna Maurice. And Shauna, let's just kind of talk about the event in general.
Sure. So this event we're having tonight is Festival of Trees, and the Festival of Trees raises money for the Richard Larson Bar Colony Foundation, which in turn supports the promotion and growth of arts, culture, and history in our community.
So what's kind of the importance of an event like this?
Well, an event like this really raises awareness for the projects that we're working on and gives us a chance to explain why those projects are important to us and to future generations, and brings some knowledge to the museum and to the foundation.
So let's talk about a little bit some of the auctions that are going to be going on a little bit. Maybe some of the rather items that might be for auction.
Sure. So we have a silent auction as well as a live auction. The silent auction is items donated by businesses in our community. So we have some wreaths, some paintings. And then the live auction is, of course, our tree auction. And they will be auctioned off at the end of the night. And they were sponsored and decorated by businesses.
And really quickly, let's just kind of talk about some of the trees really quickly.
Sure. What do we want to know? Oh, do you want to talk about this one?
Sure, why not?
This one's really cool. It was done by Katie Messmer, and as you can see, she's got it rotating, so it's a really unique tree today.
Perfect. So in just a little bit, we'll be talking to some of the other organizers as well. But first, let's head back into the studio and see what's going on with them there.
Very cool tree indeed. Looking to the numbers, -4 right now. We had a gorgeous day. That sunshine finally came out. But look at these look at our satellite radar as she's loading there. We do have some patches of precipitation and more fog on the way. We are currently on the cusp of that fog advisory as it made its way from Alberta into Saskatchewan. So we could be seeing some more fog overnight and then into the early morning hours. Areas like Meadow Lake, St. Walburg, Maidstone, North Battleford, Macklin, Pearson, all under this fog advisory. And yesterday it did get quite foggy, low visibility. So we could be seeing the same starting overnight tonight and then continuing into the morning. Temperature-wise, not too bad. We do have a bit of a cooling trend coming, unfortunately, but for now it's good. -4 here in the border city, 2 degrees in Edmonton, 1 degree in Jasper, -1 in Whitecourt, -1 also in Athabasca. Sitting at -4 in Cold Lake, -8 for Meadow Lake, and then -6 in North Battleford and -5 for Saskatoon. For those numbers in our broadcast region, like I said, -6 currently in North Battleford. Could be seeing that fog start to come in into the evening hours and then rolling out tomorrow morning. -8 overnight, and those clouds are going to start to come back in. -4 for the daytime high tomorrow. Currently in Cold Lake, -4 overnight, dipping down to -9 as that cloud cover continues to grow overnight, and then tomorrow a high of -2. So temperature-wise, sitting above the average, which is nice to see. We just do have that fog coming into effect. Currently in the border city, -4, dropping to -10 overnight, so we are hitting those double digits. And then tomorrow a high of -4 with that cloud cover. -10 degrees for the low. Saturday, -4, -7. We could see some snow starting Saturday evening, but the brunt of it is going to come on Sunday. -4 there, and then -6 on Sunday. We could see about 1 to 3 centimeters between there, but I'll have more details on that coming up a little bit later, including details on a bit of a cold trend that we're going to see next week.
Welcome back. Youth mental health across the country is getting a shot in the arm, and in this week's AG report, Gerard Lampeau tells us how 4-H Canada is stepping up to the plate.
The crankshaft.
Well, I think that, really we're responding to some of the needs of our young people.
4-H Canada CEO Shannon Ben is excited as the organization is getting ready to roll out the 4-H Canada Healthy Living Initiative in the spring.
Over the past couple of years, we've really heard that youth need more supports, in particular, navigating some of the mental health challenges that they're facing. But we know that young people have fewer access to resources, especially in rural communities in Canada. And so as an organization, we decided that we wanted to, do something about it.
The 2-year program will see the creation of resources and tools connecting youth to those resources and a focus on physical health, nutrition, and well-being.
4-H is a leadership organization. We work with young people and enable them to succeed in their pursuits in life. And this was a big part of it, that we, young people need to be strong and confident, both physically and mentally, in learning to succeed and navigate some of the challenges they face.
Bene is thankful for the corporate support that is making the initiative possible.
Along the way, we had many corporate partners that came along and partnered with us, like Farm Credit Canada, Cargill, UFA Cooperative, and Corteva AgriScience.
4-H Canada will also deliver webinars and workshops to its more than 7,000 volunteer leaders in the ongoing effort to support the more than 25,000 4-Hers across the country.
We'll be training the leaders. We have about 8,000 leaders that work with and mentor youth in communities across Canada.
The plan is to connect young people to existing resources like the Kids Help Phone and Do More Ag. Gerard Lampow, Primetime Local News.
This Ag Report is brought to you by the Lloydminster Co-op Agro Centre. Depend on them for product, tools, and expert advice. Shop at your local Lloyd Co-op Agro Centre with branch locations in Lashburn and Neilburg.
That's it for your ag news. Sports is next, but first we'll take a look at your ag prices.
Every member of the City Centre Auto Body team has been through extensive training. We're constantly upgrading our team's education to reflect current collision repair technique.
Taking a look at your local sports now, the Lloydminster Bobcats had another heartbreaking loss against the Bonnyville Pontiacs last night. The Cats held a 2-1 lead heading into the third period, where the Pontiacs scored twice, including Dane Dubois' game winner at 18:57 of the final frame. Game stars were Sean Thomas from the Pontiacs, who scored the game-tying goal, and goaltender Cale Elder for the Bobcats, who made 43 saves in the loss. Lloydminster's record drops to 6-20-1, while Bonnyville improves to 22-5-2, 6 points clear of Sherwood Park for the first in AJHL North. And the first half of the 2018-2019 volleyball season is done for the Lakeland Rustlers, and what a half it's been. The women's remain elite, while the men are finally showing signs of getting there. Our Josh Ryan has more.
Defeating Augustana this past weekend maintained the Rustlers women's team's first-place tie in the ACAC North with King's University. It also demonstrated how crucial their ball control is this season with a smaller lineup, as their only struggles have occurred as a result of poor passing.
I think sometimes we just get stuck and our feet don't move, and then that's when we get aced or we don't pass it very well. So we're working on making sure we have our angles back to the net, and yeah.
What's also clear is that speeding up their offense has put immense pressure on opposing blockers. That means Coach Austin Dyer will now introduce more ways for them to attack defenses.
Heading to the end of this semester, and then hopefully, heading into second semester, we're going to start being a little bit more crisp with the offense, and that's usually what we see and what we're aiming for is ball control gets a little bit better and the offense gets a little bit more sharp.
Avoiding lapses on serve receive is key going forward in big matches, but based on their response against the Vikings, Dyer believes his team is in good shape.
If we do that, we're going to have a chance to win, and if we don't, we're going to be in tough. And again, that just knowing the style of our team, that allows us to just kind of keep an even keel all the time, because they know, okay, we didn't pass, so it's going to be tough for us to win that set if that's the case.
The men are also feeling good heading into the Christmas break, as their 5-set victory over Augustana means they will start January with a winning record for the first time since 2008.
It's a long, grinding first semester, and to be able to finish with a win is, I think, super important for the guys, and to just demonstrate the hard work that they put in all first semester.
As the season has rolled on, the expectations have risen for the group internally, with a playoff berth very much in sight.
I think if we finished the semester 6-6 at 500, we would have felt as though that was an underachievement based on how we were halfway through the semester. So to get that win, to be 7-5 above 500, a few games clear of 5th, really, really nice feeling. Gives us that separation, gives us that confidence going into second semester.
And winning in the fashion they did on Saturday doesn't hurt in building that confidence.
Just pure heart and grit and fight, and to win a game like that in 5 sets in front of the home crowd, last game of the semester, it's a really good way to end it.
Josh Ryan, Primetime Local Sports.
And now we're going to check in with Brett Holden, who is live at the Festival of Trees tonight.
I'm joined now by Dick Airy, and Dick, just let's talk about the importance of charities and this event.
Well, charities really provide some of the services and needs that communities wouldn't ordinarily have if there wasn't charitable events like this to fund them.
Absolutely, and for your guys' charity as well, how does an event like this impact you guys?
Well, what it does is it helps us preserve some history that we have at the Cultural Center, helps us to do restoration work and provide services there that other people might come by and want to find out some sources, and we have some sources that they may not have, and so it's really a good thing. And you get to visit with people that you wouldn't ordinarily visit with, and that's what a charitable event certainly does for you.
Perfect. And we were kind of talking a little bit about how this money will be distributed for you guys and where it'll be distributed. Can we talk about that a little bit again?
Well, you know, we've got a large restoration project going on with a #1 pumper fire truck from the Lloydminster Fire Department. So that's going to be a big project. It's going to take us 2 years, and there's quite a large budget for it, you know. So an event like this will certainly help us get that project on its way, for sure.
Perfect. And just really quickly, let's just talk about the importance of this event rather and in general.
Yeah. Well, events like this provide the funds so that we certainly can go ahead and do really important things that wouldn't ordinarily get done because there's no financing for it, eh? You know, so and besides, it makes volunteering as for a charity is actually kind of fun. I really kind of enjoy it. Time goes by quickly, and there's some satisfaction when you've got the project finished.
Perfect. And we'll have a little bit more from the Festival of Trees in a little bit. And speaking of trees, Michaela, you have a beautiful tree for us. Let's head back over there in the studio and see that beautiful tree.
Thank you so much, Brett. Yes, it worked out. Look at this gorgeous shot, a little bit of a rack focus here of Christmas tree outdoors with the hoarfrost on there. So thank you so much for sending that in. Great shot. Now we are into some watches and warnings. As you can see, everywhere in gray right here is currently under a fog advisory as it made its way from Alberta into Saskatchewan. So North Battleford, Maidstone, Lloydminster is just on that cusp. St. Walburg, Meadow Lake, Pearson, all currently under that fog advisory. We could be seeing some fog starting tonight and then dissipating into the overnight and possibly continuing into the morning. Numbers, though, quite mild. -4 here in the border city, -6 in Maidstone, also in North Battleford, -8 out in St. Walburg, and on the Alberta side, a little bit warmer as we see that warming trend continue. -2 for Vermilion, -1 in Vegreville, 2 degrees in Edmonton, -2 for St. Paul, and then -4 in Cold Lake and Bonnyville. As we move up north, a little bit cooler there, so -7 in Fort McMurray and -9 in Fort Chipewyan. Couple of zeros in Grand Prairie, Slave Lake, Peace River, -5 in High Level. And then over on the Saskatchewan side, -9 in Stony Rapids, -6 in Lalache, and then currently sitting at -6 in Buffalo Narrows. And then as we move on to down south, much warmer, -2 in Swift Current, -4 in Moose Jaw, and then 2 degrees in Lethbridge, 1 degree in Medicine Hat. They've been sitting above the freezing mark pretty much all week, which has been great for them. As we look to our numbers tomorrow, going to be quite mild before we get a bit of a cool trend come in. So -4 for us tomorrow, -4 for Vermilion. Also in Vegreville, a little bit warmer at -2 in Edmonton. North Battleford going to see -4 tomorrow, -2 for Cold Lake and Bonnyville. As we look to the snow accumulation, we could be seeing 1 to 3 centimeters on Sunday. As you can see here, it's going to start Saturday evening, and then there we go, the brunt of it. Sunday throughout the day, we're going to be sitting around 1 to 3 centimeters there. School day forecast, a little bit chilly start, -9. Over the lunch hour, hitting -6, and then by the time we head home, -4. So not too bad. And then that's going to continue the -4 until Sunday, when we start to see that snow starting Saturday evening, and then we start a cool trend. So -7 on Monday. We have 45% chance we could see even more snow on Monday, and that cloud cover is going to continue. -10 on Tuesday, also on Wednesday. More chance of snow on Wednesday, 63% chance there, and then we really get cool into those numbers as we see only -15 as the high next Thursday.
And now we're going to send it back to Brett Holden, who is live for the Festival of Trees.
I'm joined now by Katie, and Katie, you're the builder of this beautiful tree. We kind of talked about it earlier, but let's kind of talk about first of all this tree.
Well, this one here is actually a kinetic wind sculpture. So basically what it is it's just got a couple bearings inside, and it just free spins with the wind, and it's got a little light to give it a little extra something, but
Awesome. So this isn't your first tree that you decorated for the Festival of Trees, is that right?
yeah, no, this is my 8th one. I've been doing it for 8 years. I approached the committee 8 years ago with the idea that I'd like to do a metal tree, because I do metal art on the side. I do machining for a trade, but I just came up with the idea and approached them, and they loved it. So.
Perfect. So you mentioned kind of your artistic style. Let's kind of talk a little bit more about that and some of your other beautiful, I guess, creations almost.
Well, yes, my artistic style is mixed metal art, and so I'll use metal chips for my shavings. I'll use like copper wire, old-fashioned ironwork. I'm still playing with my style and learning my style. I'll do painting as well with it, but in the most time, like you can see, I've got some copper weaving that's done up in there. I like to incorporate it, and every year it has to be different, and I try to be better each year. So.
So I know it's a little early, and I know this is just the event today, but what's kind of in the future forecast for yourself?
Well, I'm really enjoying the moving portion of it. I also enjoy fiber optics, so I'm not sure where it's going to go yet, but we have a fun theme next year, so you'll have to stay tuned.
I'm excited. Well, in a little bit, we'll be talking to some of the organizers as well, but first, let's head back into the studio and see what's going on with them.
All right, well, today's question of the day is definitely a conversation starter. A mother in Texas was recently shamed by an airline because she named her daughter, and I'm going to spell this out for you, ABCDE is how you spell it. It's pronounced Ab City. You know, obviously you would never want to shame a child. Unfortunately, this child was, but our question of the day is, should there be guidelines when it comes to naming your child? We put out a poll, and it's pretty close. 59% of you say yes, and 41% of you say no. Now, I feel like you can't really put guidelines, but it's kind of up to the parent to, you know, that's not you, that's your child's name.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think more people are probably thinking that kid's going to have to go to school, and like, it's so different. Maybe kids will make fun of, like, you know, they have to live with that name until they're legal enough to change it if they really wanted to. But it's just, yeah, I think most people are probably like, when is it going to get to the point where there's like numbers put in names and like symbols? And, it's just
someone's name's going to be a hashtag.
Yeah.
City. I want to read a couple of the comments. Tara says, "What is the world coming to if there's going to be rules about how you have to name your child? That's brutal." And then Nancy says, "I mean, you have to be, there's freedom and a decision for your own family, but you have to think ahead of the consequences. In this case, we should think about how our own kids would feel if that was their name." And I think that's definitely, you know, you have to think, because it's not your name, it's your child's name, but definitely a conversation starter. So weigh in. We'll be continuing this conversation in the next hour, but right now let's get to our pets of the day. Look at this one. This is a beautiful shot. This is Jane. That was sent to us by Alana. Very cute there. Next up, we have Sully. Look at that, Sully. That is really cute. That was sent to us by
Little lion.
Amanda. Thank you for sending that one in. This is Tank. Tank has a bit of a drooling problem, says Marcy. So you can see the little drool there. That's a great photo. Next up, we have Huxley Quinny. Super cute. That's a really, he looks like a teddy bear.
He just looks so happy.
Yeah, that was sent to us by Tessa. And then look at this selfie
Love
from
it.
Ringo. Thank you for sending that in, Wendy. If you would like to see your pet here on Primetime Local News, send us a photo. Please include their name. And if you do see them on the show, you'll be entered to win a $50 gift card to the Lloydminster Pet Pad.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
Hi, I'm joined with Jerry Duhame today of Carlson Travel, and today we're going to talk a little bit. Last time you came in, we talked about what to expect booking a flight and how to do that, and today we wanted to get into the fact that when you book a flight, that's not only the travel agency's job. You kind of continue on throughout the trip, helping them through a lot of different stages, correct?
Absolutely. Our job is to make sure, first of all, we give them on the kind of connections that they're looking for to the destination of their choice, obviously, but also to make sure that they get there. And we get calls sometimes where airlines cancel flights, weather delays, mechanical delays, and the worst thing is to have your family with you standing in line with 200 people trying to figure out what you're going to do next.
Exactly.
So one call to us, we can rebook them and send them on their way to the gate. They don't have to even talk to the gate agent.
Yeah.
So that helps a lot in the long run.
Absolutely. And also you kind of touched on, and I didn't know this, that if anything ever went wrong, or say that there was a family emergency, it's not left to them to have to book a flight back. That's something that you guys can help them out with
Absolutely.
as well.
We get calls, not that often, but when we do, from people at all hours of the day.
Yeah.
And to need assistance to get home because of a family emergency, or there's been something happened at the destination and they need to get home, or they need some assistance to get out of the destination. And that's where travel insurance really comes in.
Yes.
It's very, very important. First of all, to have really good health and medical insurance at anytime you leave your own province, not necessarily your country, but even your home province, you should have some extra health and medical insurance for emergencies.
Absolutely.
And when you get to the destination, and we've been involved in situations where we've had people just simply fall coming out of a pool and ended up with fractures and in the hospital and then being medevaced out. And the cost of that is just enormous. Nobody can absorb that.
Absolutely.
So good travel insurance is extremely important, and we counsel our clients on that.
Perfect. So travel insurance is a big thing, and also another thing, even before you leave, documentation is huge.
Absolutely.
What, for someone who doesn't travel as much, what are those documents that they need to get lined up, things that need to be planned ahead of time, that kind of thing?
It's pretty much impossible now to get on a plane without picture ID.
Absolutely.
I mean, a driver's license works in Canada, but as soon as you leave Canada, you pretty much need a passport. And we've had some scenarios where the worst thing to do is to check your passport when you're at the airport on departure day and find out that it expired the day before you were supposed to leave.
Yes.
So that pretty much prevents you from traveling, and we've had to deal with some of those scenarios. So always check your passport, keep it valid, particularly if you're a person who come here from, say, South Africa or England or Europe and is working here or is living here now and you have family that are living in another country. You never know when you're going to have to make a quick trip. So make sure your passports are right up to date at all times.
Absolutely. And with travel agents, it's not even, it's a very small fee, and what you get out of it is so massive. So people are maybe who don't know about travel agents, it's not anything like, it's not a big money making scam. It's not anything like that. You're not taking a big amount out of their travel costs.
Oh, absolutely not. Our prices are the same as what you get on the internet. Our fee is very, very small. And you get a lot of information and a lot of personal service as a result of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the best thing to know is documents beforehand.
Yes.
Is big. And when you are away, you can contact your travel agent. It's kind of almost a 24-hour service that you guys provide from start to finish.
Absolutely. Telephone service now is pretty much worldwide.
Yep.
It's very easy to contact us. Some people just email us from their destination. Some people just having a great time and want to extend their holiday.
There you go.
Hey, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
2 more days in Mexico is better than 2 more days anywhere where there's snow. So I mean, people do that, call in, and we can extend their vacation, we can extend their insurance. So it's a win-win situation.
Absolutely.
We're there for them whenever.
That's perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming in, Jerry. It's always a pleasure talking with you, and we will continue this conversation
Me as
another
well.
time.
Looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Thank you
so much.
Tomorrow night and Saturday night, this place is going to be packed because the BRC finals are coming to Lloydminster. They're making preparations right now here at the Lloyd X grounds because the best bull riders and the best bulls are going to be right here in Lloydminster battling out to see who is going to be named the champion. You can get your tickets and all the details online at LloydEXH.com, but don't miss out on the great action. The BRC finals coming to Lloydminster Friday and Saturday. Coming up on Sunday, you can get in the Christmas spirit in Marwayne. It's the annual Light Up Marwayne running from 4 until 7 p.m. Chance for you to take a sleigh ride. There's going to be live music thanks to Tim and Sheila Gibbs, free hot dogs, hot chocolate, and I suspect even a visit from Santa Claus. A great family event coming up on Sunday in Marwayne. Thanks to Universal Music Canada, our stocking has been stuffed with some great Christmas music that we want to share with you. You can win a copy of Gwen Stefani's Christmas album, You Make It Feel Like Christmas. A lot of great Christmas music on here, including her duet with Blake Shelton. If you want to win a copy, it's really easy. All you have to do is email your name and daytime phone number to tvcontests@newcap.ca. We want to say thanks to John at Universal Music Canada for setting us up with the music. And coming up next Saturday, December the 8th, it's the 11th annual Here Comes Santa Claus in downtown Lloydminster. To get the full list of events, head for the website realcountrylloydminster.ca. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, I hope you have a great one. I'm Heather Klegus, and that's what's happening.
Hi and welcome. I am joined with Lindsay, an instructor at Pure Vibe Studios here in Lloydminster, and Pure Vibe Studio has a lot of different activities to kind of get you through your weekly workout. Kind of explain what we have going on at Pure Vibes here.
We got lots going on. So we offer RevCore, which is the resistance training, surf set, so indoor surfing. We also have spin and yoga.
Awesome. Yeah. So if someone wanted to get involved, you have a website that you can contact at. What's your website?
Yeah, it's www.purevibestudios.com.
Yeah.
We actually even have an open house coming up to celebrate our anniversary, December 6th to 8th. And for those 3 days, we actually offer all of our classes for free for everyone to come out and give a try.
That's awesome. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's a great time to, if you are hesitant with these kind of new forward workouts, that you can definitely give it a try before even committing to a couple classes. So
Definitely.
That's great.
Yeah.
So we kind of did surf set, the other panel, and now we're going to get into something called RevCore, correct?
Yes.
And so kind of explain what that is exactly.
So RevCore is suspended-based resistance training. It's an awesome program. It's designed to help increase strength, agility, and flexibility.
Awesome.
And it's actually Canadian founded, so it's even, that's pretty super cool.
Very cool. And how long, do you know how long this workout has kind of been around? Was it recently a designed program?
It's pretty recent. I'd have to say in the last 10 years for sure, maybe even a little newer.
Yeah. And so it's kind of like I asked you, it kind of looks like almost a TRX workout, but it's totally different. So you kind of, TRX, you use your own body weight, where this is opposite almost, correct?
Yeah, we're using resistance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So with RevCore, with the surf set, there's a couple different classes that you can take. There's build and burn and different things like that. Is that kind of the same thing for RevCore as well?
Yes, we have what we call low impact and then high impact. So there's several different low impact sequences, and then so they're really slow, concentrated movements. Beautiful sequencing and program, and then we have high impact. So it's focused a little bit more on the cardiovascular side.
Right. And I watched a little bit of a video on this before we came to do the panel, and it almost looks like a bit of yoga. That's kind of at the same time. Is it kind of yoga-based workout?
There are some yoga-inspired movements in it for sure.
Awesome. And so with this, with the bands and people who have sports injuries, things like that, is this something that they can still tackle?
Oh, definitely. A lot of physiotherapists and other practitioners actually highly recommend RevCore because of that.
Right.
Because it's so good for core stability and joint stability.
Right, and you can kind of rebuild those muscles as you go.
Really good for rehab.
Yeah, and how long are the classes for RevCore?
They are 45 to 60 minutes.
Okay, awesome. Well, coming up in the next hour, I'm going to attempt RevCore. Hopefully it goes a little bit better than my surf set panel, if you got to watch that. I'm really excited to get into this, so definitely stick around for the next hour if this is something you're interested in and you want to give it a try. Lindsay's going to take me through that within the next hour, so definitely stay with us.
I am here at the Festival of Trees at the Lloydminster Golf and Curling Center tonight, where the doors will open at 6 o'clock, where there's going to be some auctions here, some silent auctions, some live auctions here that will go to charity as well. That'll stay here in Lloydminster. There's some beautiful trees that some local people have made for auction here as well, and some gorgeous, looks delicious food here. Like I said, doors will open if you have your ticket at 6 o'clock, but we'll have a little bit more talking to some of the organizers and some longtime contributors to the Festival of Trees. But first, let's head back into the studio and see what's going on with them there.
Thank you so much, Brett. Just starting off with our watches and warnings, Lloydminster just on the cusp there of a fog advisory. Macklin, Maidstone, North Battleford, St. Walburg, Meadow Lake, Pierceland, Green Lake, all currently under that fog advisory as we see it starting up tonight into the overnight and hopefully dissipating throughout the night, but some areas could see that lingering into tomorrow, and then possibly again some fog on Saturday. Number-wise, not too bad, -4 for the next 3 days. Saturday evening into Sundays when we're really going to see a snowfall, 1 to 3 centimeters expected. Most of that will happen on Sunday, and then as of Monday, we're going to start getting into a bit of a cool trend. So -7 on Monday, and then we really get cool into those double digits. -10 on Tuesday, -10 again on Wednesday with a 63% chance we could see some more flurry action. And then look at that on Thursday, getting quite chilly at -15 for the high and -18 for the low. And then once you factor in that wind, going to feel a little bit cooler